Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Today I'm going to have a look at a rather decent way of making some very good money. Now this is a method that's been around for quite a long time now, but recently it's been getting a lot of attention, so seeing as everyone's talking about it and everyone's reporting on it, I thought I might as well post a video on the method itself. Now what you're going to need to do is look for a system that's in a state of war or civil war, and you can do this by going to the galactic map and applying the relevant filter. But if you go to the area that everyone's been talking about, that is 17 Draconis, and that is where I'm at right now. In a system that's at war like this, you get some very high paying massacre missions, and you can see right there that I accepted a mission worth 10 million, as well as another one worth 3 million. In fact, you'll get missions constantly ranging from anywhere between 2 to 300,000 right up to 18 million. Now you can stack all of these missions, you can take right up to your total, which is 20 missions, and as you notice on the mission board there, quite often the system will offer a whole load of missions in one go. So I've got to be very clear here there and say up front that if you do head on down to 17 Draconis, be aware that as of right at this moment, it's not in a state of civil war. If you do want to use a method like this, then you will need to look for another system or wait for 17 Draconis to come back into war again. Now, as you probably know, massacre missions are all about killing ships from an opposing faction. Sometimes you just need to kill 10 ships for the lower paid missions. For the higher paid ones, you can sometimes have to kill over 100 ships. And to do all this, you're best off coming to a conflict zone. Just as with massacre missions, conflict zones are usually only found within systems that are in a state of war of some type. If you're particularly lucky, you may drop into a conflict zone and find that there's a capital ship there, or one that's due to arrive. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, you may even find 2 capital ships there. It's certainly not something that's going down on in 17 Draconis here, but it is something that goes on occasionally. Now I haven't got a modified vulture here, this is all using stock. The only thing that is modified actually is the jump drive that's on the ship. Everything else comes as a standard module. A lot of people say that they have trouble fighting within conflict zones, but there is a method to it. Simply hang around the outer edges of the conflict, and sooner or later you'll find some stragglers from the opposing faction coming to the outskirts, and you'll then be able to pick those off one at a time. And if you're fortunate, you may find that some of the friendly ships will come and join you. Now what you don't want to do is fly right into the middle of the conflict, because if you do that, you're going to get yourself swamped by pretty much every ship going. And I suspect that this is what a lot of people tend to do, and it's one of the reasons that they primarily have a problem within conflict zones. But they're not too difficult, so long as you follow a few basic rules, and as long as you've got some basic experience with combat. And you know me by now, I'm really not all that good with combat at all, yet I managed to survive within conflict zones without too much of a problem. Now briefly, I will talk about this entire method of making money. There's always a method of making vast amounts of money within Elite Dangerous, and they have been there right since day one of the game. Now, for some reason, these are often kept secret. This particular one has been going for many weeks. In fact, it's probably been around for a number of months. Sooner or later, the method escapes. It gets out there into the public, and that's just what has happened with this particular method. It's all over the forums, all over Reddit, and Frontier have even engaged in a few of the threads discussing it. It's a way of making significant amounts of money, all using legitimate methods of gameplay. The massacre missions, for example, are generated by systems that are in a state of war, and these state changes within the systems all occur and are driven by the background simulator, and that is all driven by the activities that the players engage in. So here I am then back at the station, and you can see I've had 558 million in credits just before I started handing these missions in. I'm now going to hand in all 20 of them, and we'll see what my total is once that's done. So here we are then, approaching nearly 630 million. One of my lesser runs, slightly under 100 million for that particular occasion. And at the end of the day, this does seem to be very excessive. Nonetheless, it's entirely within the game's rules. Now, there is another side to this story, of course, and it's something that some people class as a little bit of an exploit. Although, to be perfectly honest, I don't think it is an exploit, but it is possibly unintended, so it depends on your definition. Anyway, go to Faraday Keep on the first planet within the system. At this base, you will find this stationed with skimmers from the opposing faction. Now, at the moment, skimmers count as ship kills. It's been this way for quite a long time as far as I can tell, and Frontier don't seem to be doing anything about it, at least not yet. There is a post on the forums where they say they're going to fix the underlying bug, but they don't say whether that's in regards to mission stacking the high Payouts or skimmers counting as ship kills, although it seems likely it'd be the later. As I said at the beginning of the video, this is a method, if you want to call it that, which is all over Reddit, all over the forums, and all over YouTube. Many people are talking about it, many people are actually doing it, but just in case you don't know about it, here it is. So just come to this base. Any base will do within any system that's a civil war that has a faction on the opposing side, or you can attack their skimmers. I'm simply using dumbfire missiles here. There is a ship there, you saw it just take off, but at this point you can simply log out using the main menu here. 15-second timer, not enough time for the ship to do any or much damage to you at all. If this is the sort of thing you really don't want to do, and I can completely understand that and relate to that, then simply don't do it. Although that said, Frontier haven't asked people to not do this, but let's be honest here, you'd be pretty hard pushed to say that this isn't cheating. As soon as you get back in, the skimmers are there again, and you can repeat this process over and over until the missions are complete. But I suspect you probably have a lot more fun by going to the conflict zones, just like I did earlier on in the video. If you're really insistent on killing skimmers though, if you come to these bases, do be aware that attacking them like this will get you a hostile or unfriendly at the very least with those particular fractions. And if you want to get around that, you can simply look for points of interest and kill the skimmers in those. So like I said, 17 Draconis is far from the only system where you can do this. Look for another system that's in a state of civil war, and there's a link in the video description below showing you exactly where you can find those. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.